Teslas are like no other car brand out there today. I mean, some of them don't even have gear stocks. So when you're coming from a normal gas car, going to a Tesla, it can be a little overwhelming. I'm Everyday Chris, and today I'm gonna teach you a few of the most important things to do when you're driving your Tesla. Let's get started. If this is your first time in a Tesla and nothing is set up yet, Tesla gives you 2 key cards, and these are your car keys. In order to lock or unlock the door, on the driver's side pillar, right in the middle, just put the key card there and the car will unlock. And to open the door, just use your thumb and pull. Oh man, looks like I need to get some floor mats to protect the interior of my car ASAP. It's been raining here, so my shoes are super dirty. So the first thing you need to buy before you even get your car is floor mats. I love my 3D Max Powder floor mat. It's super sleek, minimalistic looking, kind of has a tub style shaped design. So it provides protection on the sides, and it has these anti-slip material so it doesn't slide around inside your Tesla. All right, let me install these bad boys. Fits like a glove. Now with my dirty feet, I can come in here and it protects the carpet. Okay, now that I got my brand new Tesla Model Y interior protected with my 3D Max Power floor mats, I don't have to worry about it anymore. If you get in within about 2 minutes, you don't need to place the key card in the center and you could just drive off. When you get your car, you usually create a Tesla account with an email. This email is automatically linked to the VIN number of your car. So when you take delivery of your car, you already have your profile all set up. Now, once you're inside, the Tesla doesn't have a push to start button. In order to drive off, you just place the key card below the cup holders for older Model 3s and Model Ys, or where the wireless charging pad is for the Model S, X, and 3 refresh. With Teslas, the second you get into the car is already on and good to go. You don't have to turn something on to adjust the climate or just hang out in your car. It's ready to go for you, which is awesome. It's very easy to adjust your seat using the buttons. You can adjust your mirrors and the wheel using the screen, and you can save and create your profile. I go into detail on how to connect other phones to Bluetooth, and I have a ton of quick tips if you want to check out those series on just really short videos on things that all Tesla owners need to know. Next, with the Y and 3 with gear stocks, it's on the right side. You just put your foot on the brake, go down for drive, all the way up for reverse, and for neutral, it's just slightly up or down. Although there's never really a reason to use this feature. I thought you could use it if your Tesla battery died, but the gear stocks don't even work. In order to put your car into park, you just press on that gray button. The parking brake is usually enabled by default. However, in an emergency, if you want to manually enable the parking brake in the Tesla with the gear stocks, you just have to hold that gray button and then the manual emergency brake will enable. You can also easily see the gears you're on the screen. With the new Model 3s and X and S's with no gear stocks, it's very easy but a little counterintuitive. You put your foot on the brake, you swipe up on the drive strip to go into drive, and you swipe down to reverse. They have an amazing beta feature that uses the cameras to know to go into reverse or drive automatically, and it works really well. So all you have to do is put your foot on the brake and you're good to go. To enable that feature, go to controls. It's the little car icon on the lower left-hand side of the screen. Pedals and steering, and auto shift out of park, make sure you enable that. Also, and most likely with the Model 3 refresh as well, in case your screen doesn't work, there are manual touch sensitive gear switches that you can actually push to go into drive or reverse or neutral or park. In the center for the Model X and S at the bottom near the emergency lights. And for the Model 3, it's on the ceiling where again the emergency lights are. These automatically turn on when your screen resets, or you can manually use them by pressing on them. However, sometimes they don't work so well, so I found the best way, just press both scroll wheels on your steering wheel once quickly and they automatically turn on instantly. With the Model X and S, since you have that center display, the gear indicators are on the lower right in the center display above your steering wheel. Now the gear strip goes away once you start driving, so if you're thinking like, how would I ever go into neutral, or how do I engage the emergency brake if my brakes don't work? If you press on that controls icon that I was talking to you about earlier, it automatically pops back up no matter what speed you go, which allows you to do things like enable the parking brake by holding the P or going into neutral if you're driving. Now, once you're in reverse or drive and you want to switch gears quickly, as long as you're under 5 miles per hour, you can change gears without fully stopping. It doesn't damage any gears or anything like that like you would with an engine car. So now we're on the road. Tesla has something called regenerative braking, where it uses the motors to slow down the car. This is very beneficial for Teslas because it allows more energy back into your car. However, if you're coming from a car that coasts when you let your foot off the gas, it will feel really weird. The best thing that I recommend doing is you find a nice empty straightaway somewhere, put your foot on the accelerator, go pretty fast, then let your foot off completely, and then just see how it feels and how aggressively and quickly the Tesla slows down. Also, I found that the gas pedals with Teslas has some more resistance to it, so it requires more force to press. For me personally, I recommend finding a sweet spot where you can let your heel rest on the floor and let the side of your foot rest on the side to allow for easier driving. This is something I'm very happy with compared to many other electric vehicles I've driven. I rarely need to use the brake pedal because of this one pedal driving. Now, as far as the tachometer goes, Tesla doesn't really have one, but they have this straight line under the speed. When you're accelerating, the bar will increase on the right side. When you're decelerating and regenerative energy is going back to the battery, it will be green on the left side. If you ever notice like a light gray bar on the left side that's after the green bar, that means the car is braking and not putting any energy back to the battery. Also, if you ever see any dotted lines on the left or right side, that means the car is limited in what it can do. And don't be scared, it's not necessarily a bad thing. For instance, acceleration may mean your battery is really low, it's too cold outside, or if it's on the brake side, it may mean you have a really full 100% battery pack. And intuitively, right under that, your speed is also on the screen. Now, when you are driving, you'll see a small gray steering wheel icon near the gear stalks. That's part of their auto steer autopilot feature, and I'll discuss that in a second. While driving, you'll also see your battery percentage that you can easily switch between miles to percentage on the fly by simply pressing the percentage or miles into 3 and Y. And the X and S, unfortunately, they don't have that feature because it's all on that center display in front of your steering wheel that's not touch sensitive. So you have to go to the menu to change that. And you'll also see stuff like speed signs, and next to it, you'll see a speed that says max. And that's part of the autopilot function. Now, again, I'll talk about that in a second. Now, there's also a few other icons that may pop up that you've never seen before in a gas car. For instance, a snowflake. This means it's just really cold, so your battery capacity may be limited and charging speeds may be decreased due to the weather. For those things, the best way to avoid it is to precondition your car by sending it to a Tesla supercharger in the navigation. This allows the battery to heat up, and another thing, keeping your Tesla plugged in all the time and enabling the precondition feature before you leave, it also allows the battery to heat up so you don't have these issues. And again, this is one of those things you have to learn with a Tesla, as it really avoids people getting stranded in freezing cold weather. Now, another weird icon is if you see a green lightning bolt with a dotted circle, that means the one pedal driving regenerative braking is limited due to probably a 100% or fully charged battery pack. Now, one cool thing with Teslas is everything on the screen is in real time. This means if you see brake lights on your Tesla screen, your car is actually braking in real life, using the turn signals as well as the cars all around you. And that's what makes Tesla so unique and exciting. Now, depending if you paid for full self-driving, you may have a different screen, but overall it's the same. Now, if you try changing lanes when there's a car, the lane closest to you where you're changing to will blink and the car will blink red. And I know what you're thinking, it's a little counterintuitive because the screen is in the middle and I'm supposed to look to my left to change lanes. However, that's just kind of how it is, and you kind of get used to it really quickly. They made it so much easier though, because now there's a new feature where the camera image will also turn red. So pretty much when you enable the turn signal, the camera on that side will turn on so you could see exactly what's going on, so there's no blind spot. However, if there is a car coming in, that will actually turn red as well, which is amazing, and it's really helpful to avoid hitting someone as you're turning into that lane. If you don't have this thing enabled, just make sure you enable the automatic turn signals. Just go to lights and enable automatic turn signals. Then go to autopilot and enable automatic blind spot cameras. Also, the Model 3 refresh design as well as the Cybertruck has a red dot in the pillar that turns on when a car is in your blind spot. And it also blinks when you try to go into that lane, which is something I've been missing for forever, and I'm so happy they finally have it in the newer models. Now, very simple. To use the turn signals, use the left gear stalk. You can lightly press up or down for it to blink 3 times, then it stops automatically. Or you can push it all the way down and it'll stay on. And to turn it off manually, you can go the opposite way, or you could just go down the same way again, and the signal light will turn off. Now, there's super nifty stuff, like I said, where you have the camera turn on where you're changing lanes. And there's another cool tech feature. The car can automatically turn off the blinkers, and I recommend you guys turn all of these on. It's under controls, lights, and automatic turn signals, and make sure it's set to auto cancel. This is the reason why you got a Tesla, right? For all the cool tech features that make your everyday life easier. Just know that if you have the auto off blinker feature on, when you lightly go up or down, it'll keep the blinker on until you make a lane change, and the car will turn it off automatically. You can still manually turn off the blinker yourself by fully going up or down as well. Now with the Model 3 Refresh and Model X and S, there's just simple buttons on the steering wheel that vibrate when you press it. And I feel especially the auto lane change feature is perfect because you don't have those gear stalks, making it a teeny bit more difficult to cancel your lane change if you're moving your steering wheel constantly. Now let's talk about autopilot. To use things like cruise control and autopilot and auto steering, it's very easy. Now all Teslas come with free autopilot or cruise control, and it stays in the lane, maintains the speed in front of the car in front of you, and it brakes and accelerates on its own, and it does a great job. Autopilot comes in two parts: traffic aware cruise control, TACC, and auto steer. They added a new feature where you can enable both with a single pull of the gear stalk, making it so much easier and intuitive, and I really recommend you guys turn that on. Just go to autopilot activation, and switch it to single pull. Again, this makes it so the second you pull it, it auto steers and maintains a distance in front of the car. You'll know you could use those auto steer functions when you see that small gray steering wheel icon right next to your gear stalk indicator like we talked about before. Then the animation changes on the screen. You get two blue lines on the side of your car, and that shows that the autopilot function is working, as well as some sounds that just remind you that autopilot is on. Now remember those speed signs that were a little confusing that said things like max on the display? This is what your autopilot speed will be, and you can easily adjust it. I recommend you switch it from set speed to offset. With offset, it reads the speed signs and it automatically adjusts the speed based on that. So pretty much if you're going 20 miles per hour and it sees a 20 miles per hour speed and you offset it to 4 or 5%, it will be 4 or 5% more than 20%. And if you're not good at math like myself, on the screen it shows you how much more it'll default to based on that percentage. This provides a much more fluid driving experience instead of a set speed. So to enable it, you simply have to press on the left gear stalk once, you'll hear a beep, and the speed on the right near the speed sign indicates what your cruise control speed is. You can increase or decrease the speed with the right scroll wheel going up or down, and change how far or close you want to be to the car in front of you with the left and right taps of the right scroll wheel. There are a couple hidden features, like let's say the speed limit is 50 miles per hour, you enable your autopilot and you have it on a set speed instead. You could simply press on the speed sign, 55 miles per hour, press it, and it'll automatically default to that speed, making it so much quicker than just flicking up on the scroll wheel. And if you have the enhanced autopilot, if you are on autopilot, instead of getting the two blue lines on the side of your cars, you'll get a single line in the center, showing it's more active in driving itself to your destination. Now with the stockless design, it's the right button you press to turn on autopilot. And unfortunately, my Model X doesn't adjust distance with the left and right scroll wheels, so you have to dangerously go into the menu to adjust it while you're driving. Now, one thing I wish they kept was when you're on autopilot with full self-driving, you have the ability to have minimal lane changes on that current drive. It's nice if you just want to chill and let the car drive, but when you start a new trip, it turns off. So that is something I wish they changed, but it's very simple to enable that feature. You just have to go left and right on that scroll wheel and then just enable minimal lane changes for current drive. Now, if you paid that extra money for full self-driving, there's a ton more settings to dive into, but I'll make a separate video for that. Now, there's no point in driving a Tesla if you can't even see at night. Tesla has really good automatic headlights, but to turn them on manually, the only real way is to go into the Tesla screen. It's super easy to find. You just click on the car icon and it's right there. You'll know your headlights are on with the indicators on the screen as well. With the Model X and S, they have a rear fog light, which helps in foggy weather or rainy weather, and it's this orange reverse looking light. But it's dangerous to adjust these settings while driving. So simply use the left gear stalk and bring it towards you to flash your high beams. Then the mini menu pops up, and from there you can manually manually turn the headlights on or off quickly without looking away from the road. This is the same as the Model 3 Refresh and X and S. Just tap the high beam button to bring up the lights menu and change the settings on the fly that way. And because we're on that area of headlights, let's quickly talk about their automatic wiper blades. Now, automatic wiper blades in the Teslas can either be a hit or miss depending on the firmware you're on. Sometimes it may work well and sometimes it may not work so well. One way to manually use the wiper blades once is to press the left gray button. The quick menu pops up and you can adjust it that way. But again, if it's pouring rain outside, your auto wipers aren't working, and you don't want to take your eyes off the road, you can press that gray button once, then you can use your left scroll wheel and manually adjust the wiper blade speed that way. You can also use the voice commands to adjust the wiper blade speed on the fly super easily as well. Set wiper blade speed to max. Also, if you ever wanted to use the windshield washer fluid, just hold the gray button. And of course, with the stockless design, you just have to hold that wiper blade button as well. Now, if you didn't know, Tesla has some really good voice commands that's responsive and useful. If you wanted to turn on the front or rear defoggers, you can simply tell Tesla to do it. Turn on the front defoggers. Or you can press the temperature and it'll pop up the climate controls, and you could do it that way. You could easily save Sentry Mode footage by telling them to save dashcam clip. You can open the charge port, open the butthole. Find me some boba tea. And if you end up spilling your boba tea, it's a good thing you have the 3D Max Power floor mats to clean up and hold any spills. It not only holds the spills, dirt, and mud, it's super easy to clean. If you guys are interested, make sure you use my discount in the description below. There's a lot of stuff that Tesla can do. You just have to ask. Now, Tesla, computer on wheels, everything is automatic. Tesla also has auto heated seats and a steering wheel, and it does a great job. One thing is, if you're the only person driving, the passenger air may not turn on. But to turn it on, you simply have to press the climate button and press on the passenger dashboard area, and it'll simply turn on. You also have the ability for dual zone climate control in the front. And if there's a passenger, you can simply adjust the climate from their side to automatically enable different climate temp, or you can press the split button as well. And if you want to turn it off quickly, just press that split button again. And on the screen, you can customize all the icons and buttons. So if you tend to use the heated steering wheel often or the heated seats, you can easily move things around and adjust it to your liking. Now, one important thing quickly is the emergency lights button for the 3 and Y are at the top. For the S and X, it's located near the bottom. So overall, it's not that hard to drive a Tesla, but I think a lot of people, especially my senior mom, gets overwhelmed with all the settings and features of the Tesla. So first, if you ever have any issues with the car or the screen acting up, actually this applies to anything plugged in with technology, just restart it. And if you ever need to restart the screen, just hold both scroll wheels until the screen turns black, and that's it. If you wanted to get in and out of your Model 3 and Y, you just have to press the door open button and the door pops open. However, if that doesn't work because your battery died, or if you're in an accident for some reason it doesn't work, there's always a manual door open button right above the window switches for all models. You just have to pull it up and the door will manually open. Lastly, let's quickly talk about charging. With most Teslas, unless you have a rear-wheel drive with LFP batteries, you don't want to charge your Tesla to 100% every day. You'll know you need to charge to 100% with the LFP batteries if on the charging screen it says 50% and 100%. All other Teslas will always say daily and trip. Now, the charge port is located on the left side of the car on the driver's side. And if you don't remember, again, just look on the center screen and you'll see where the charge port is, and even if it's open. You can open the charge port lid by pressing on the screen or by pressing on the lid itself, but there's also a button on the Tesla charger that you can press to open the lid. There's so many ways to charge your Tesla. First is with the Tesla home wall charger. Second is the mobile charging kit. And third is superchargers. And fourth, third-party chargers like EVgo or Electrify America. All Tesla stuff, you just simply plug it in and you're done. Most Tesla superchargers require you to back into the stall due to the length of the cable. So you want to make sure you back up far enough where you can't see the cinder block guard. Otherwise, you have to get out and then go back in and reverse more. Now, when you are getting your Tesla for the first time, don't forget when you order it, you have to purchase the wall charger or the mobile charger separately. But I do recommend the universal wall connector instead, because that has the universal wall connector, a adapter. So if you ever have a friend or if you ever want to get a non-Tesla, you can easily charge that car with the wall connector that way. Or just do what I have. I have my Electron adapter, and even though I don't have the universal wall connector, it still works charging non-Teslas just fine. But I do recommend everyone getting an extension cord and the mobile charging kit because I got stranded and I had nowhere to charge my Tesla. So luckily I had that to charge my Tesla to give me 1 or 2 miles to get to a charger. Once that's done, you can go to your screen and adjust the charge limit. Now with most daily driving, it's around 80%. From here, you can control how much amps the car pulls. This is very useful if you're using extension cord or you don't want to trip a breaker. You can easily decrease the amps. Now I talked about the charging schedules in my settings video as it can be a little confusing. However, just know for most people, their highest rates are from 4 to 9 p.m. So you want to make sure the off-peak end time ends at 3:45 p.m. That way your Tesla isn't charging during 4 to 9. And at superchargers, you can't control any of those settings. It literally just charges the second you plug in and you're good to go. But overall, that's about it on the basic driving stuff that new Tesla owners need to know. Anyways, guys, hope that video helped you. Make sure to subscribe. Check out my other videos. I also go on a ton of road trips, and driving an electric car isn't as crazy as the media says it is. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.